Hey SD, I've been watching some of your videos and I decided to give this whole DIY tailoring thing a shot. And I'm really excited and I got my sewing machine, but things aren't really going according to plan. Pretty sure I bought a piece of junk. Well, one of the biggest mistakes a beginner can make is blaming the sewing machine for the problems when that's actually not the problem. Your stitches start skipping or you're getting these like really messy puckered seams and your thread keeps breaking and it's really easy. It's easy to blame your sewing machine. Now before you get mad and throw your sewing machine at the wall or you go on Amazon and try and find something that's way too expensive and overkill for what it is that you need, check your needle. For like 99.5% of all of the tailoring that we do on this channel, we're gonna use a universal needle and a denim needle. Now, one of those two needles, in the event that you're using them, it might be too old, but we'll get to that in a second. More importantly, we need to know which one we should use and what do those numbers even mean on the front there, on the package. Because yes, 80-12 and 100-16, they didn't just put that on there for funsies. It's gonna tell you the size and the strength of the needle. And they do it in kind of a weird backwards way. It's kind of like oil viscosity, like 5W20. It took me like 30 years to figure out what that meant. Why can't you just put like one number on the oil so I can just buy that instead of like using combinations of numbers? I bet my Chevy Cruze would have lasted a lot longer if I knew that. Let's start with universal needles. Yeah, they're just that. They're universal. They're going to be your jack of all trades needles. You can use that for t-shirts, dress shirts, chinos, jeans sometimes, which we'll get to. And it's called universal because it works pretty well over a wide variety of garments. But like the saying goes, jack of all trades, it's not a master at any of them. I don't know if you knew that. That's the continuation of that saying, jack of all trades, master at none. A universal needle's not gonna be spectacular at everything. It's gonna do everything fine. But if your garment starts throwing some curveballs at you, like it's a little bit stretchy, things like that, that's when you're gonna run into issues where it's like, oh, this universal needle, it's not really cutting it. Let's say you have a pair of dress pants that fit like complete crap and you wanna change that. You wanna make them fit you better. A universal needle's gonna do you just fine. The fabric is woven and the layers are relatively light, and ultimately you're not trying to take a needle and stab it through these really thick layers of denim. So for most dress pants, a 80-12 universal needle, it's gonna do you well. And like I was saying about oil before, those two numbers, they're kind of describing the exact same thing, just from two different parts of the world. The first number is the European size, and the second number is the American size. So 80-12, it's not two different sizes, it's actually one size just represented two different ways with two different numbers. Why? I don't know. The higher the number, the thicker and stronger the needle. So 70-10 is gonna be thinner than 80-12. And 80-12 is thinner than 90-14. And 90-14 is thinner than 100-16. You feel me? And this one's important. The goal isn't necessarily to use the biggest needle that you possibly can. Because yes, you want the needle to be strong enough to be able to go through that garment, but you don't want it so strong that it just like punches these giant holes in your fabric. So if you use a 100-16 needle on a thinner dress shirt, for instance, yeah, it's gonna be able to put a straight stitch on the side. Yeah, it's gonna put a straight stitch on the side for you. But that shirt needed a small adjustment and you showed up with like construction equipment. On the other hand, if the needle is too small or too thin for that material, it's gonna be like, oh, that's cute. You're trying to stab through me. And it's gonna end up, bending or breaking or skipping stitches. So you're looking for that nice balance, that nice happy medium. And the number of layers for your garment matters way more than people think that it does. If you are altering a pair of chinos are generally gonna be pretty lightweight, right? So you're like, okay, cool, I can use a smaller, thinner needle for these, but you're not factoring in the individual layers that you're gonna end up stacking together. Like if you are shortening them, you're gonna fold things over and make these thick mounds of fabric. That's why your needle can, kind of breeze through it smoothly the entire time, and then as soon as you get to that, it's like, I made a chino shortening tutorial one time, and that's exactly what happened in that video. I didn't factor in the fact that I was, sewing over a bunch of layers, and I used my original universal needle. Everything was going fine until that. Now let's talk about denim needles. A denim needle is obviously designed for more heavy, thicker materials. It's gonna have a stronger shaft and a sharper point. That's one that not a lot of people realize, is that yes, it's technically gonna be sharper than a universal needle. That helps with the whole, penetrating dense garments, all that stuff. And most of the time, your sewing machine, it's not struggling because it's struggling with the denim in and of itself. It's struggling because you're not using a denim needle. You're asking a universal needle to do what you want the denim needle to do. And you don't want none of that. A 90-14 denim needle is gonna work fantastically for a lot of more medium weight denims and a lot of lightweight denims as well. But if you start getting into like thicker, more heavy duty denims, you're gonna wanna use a 100-16 needle. But even the correct needle and the correct machine doesn't mean you can just slam the pedal on down and go flying. The needle is gonna help the machine penetrate through that fabric, but it's not gonna help you like get over humps or anything. When you reach a thick side seam on a pair of jeans, slow down. And you might need to turn the hand wheel manually for a couple of stitches. You just turn the wheel towards you just for a couple of stitches to help get that needle through. And you also might need to level out that presser foot too. What's gonna happen is you're gonna get to a side seam or a hump, and your presser foot's gonna be up like that. It doesn't wanna be up like that. So you just take a piece of scrap fabric, put it right behind there, make it nice and level. That way the presser foot is straight and it can just go. Correct needle, correct size, they all work together for a nice, fluid, solid, great project. I guess that's all I got. That's all I could think of. Before you change that tension or thread your sewing machine like 57 times, change the needle. They wear down a lot faster than you think that they would, and they're like $3 at Walmart. A dull needle is going to end up making kind of like a punching or a popping sound through your garment. Like you'll hear it. So that's when you know, it might be time to change my needle. My rule of thumb is this. Did you go on a tailoring binge? Yeah? Did you alter like 7 dress shirts and like 4 pairs of chinos? Okay, change your needle. Or is this the first time I'm touching my sewing machine in like 8 months? Yeah? Yeah, change the needle. And now that you understand needles, when you go ahead and shorten a pair of jeans, you're gonna be set up for success, because that's what we're doing in the next video. I'll see you over there. SD out. Deuces.